It's the ultimate travel guide from the people who know it best. Weekends with Yankee. Back in the test kitchen, Amy combines two of Vermont's finest exports to create an unforgettable ale and cheddar cheese dip.
So on my way home from the great little food town of Greensboro, Vermont, I kept thinking about cheese and beer and cheese and beer. And ultimately, the idea for this recipe came to me. It's a cheddar ale dip. It's gooey and warm and delicious and perfect for like a cool day, for, a gathering of friends, and it's so easy to make. So first you want to start with some extra sharp cheddar. That's what I like to use. You need 20 ounces of freshly grated cheddar. So I'm going to do that now. It doesn't take too long. I'm just going to use a box grater. You can hold it at an angle and kind of keep going back and forth on either side. So now I'm making my roux, which is going to be the base of this dish. It's just a butter-flour mixture. And I've got 3 tablespoons of salted butter and 3 tablespoons of flour. And now that the butter's foaming, I'm going to whisk in the flour and make a little bit of a paste. This will thicken the sauce, and it'll also help the cheese to melt evenly throughout the sauce. And I just want to let that cook for a minute. I don't need to let it brown. I just want the fat to coat all of the flour little bits. So now I've got an ale. Now this is a pale or a dark ale. Either one is fine. And you don't have to just use any kind of beer you like to drink, just like with wine. And I'm going to slowly pour this in. It's going to foam, obviously, because it's carbonated. But as you stir it and whisk it in slowly, it will thicken from the roux. So now we're ready to add some really yummy seasonings. I love the flavor profile of this dish. Everything that's in here goes really well with beer and goes really well with cheese. So we're going to start with a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. I like the creamy kind. I think the kind with the seeds kind of ruins the texture a little bit. So use the creamy kind. Then we've got 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce and 1.5 teaspoons of brown sugar. I tried making this without the brown sugar, but having just the background note of sweetness, it's not very strong, but it just really balances out the other flavors. It also balances out any bitterness that's in the beer. Now the next flavor is spice. I've got some canned chipotle chilies in adobo sauce, and I've chopped them up. You can use 1 or 2 to your taste. Just do it how you like it. It's your kitchen. I like it spicy, so I'm going to put in 2 with about 2 teaspoons of the sauce that comes with it. That adds a little bit of color and also adds some really good smoky flavor. Chipotle chilies are known for their smokiness. And then to round out spicy flavors, I've got some just freshly ground black pepper. You can, again, do it to your taste. If you like it spicy, use more. If you like it mild, just use a lot less. Use a 1/4 teaspoon. So we just want it warm enough to melt the cheese, but not so hot that it breaks down the cheese. The nice thing about melting cheese in alcohol is it melts really easily. So I'm just doing this by the handful, and then I'm whisking a bit after each handful. Okay, so this is ready. You can see it's totally creamy. It's really evenly combined. It's gooey and ooey and yummy and wonderful. Now, there are a couple ways to serve this. You could just serve it from the skillet, which we'll do in a second. But if you wanted to be a little bit fancier, you could actually do individual servings. Just spoon a little bit of the sauce into a little bowl and give it to everybody individually. I like to garnish this for crunch and a little extra flavor. I like to garnish it with a little bit of scallions. We're gonna put 1 more scoop in here, and then you could sprinkle the scallions on right here. Cut them on a diagonal like that. Looks really pretty. So you could do that, or as I tend to do, you just invite everybody to gather around the skillet with their corn chips or pieces of bread. Let me take that out of there. And just garnish it with the scallions so everybody can get a little bite. It looks nice. It adds a little bit of green and freshness. Now, as this sits, let's say you're having a party. You want to keep it on low heat. If it starts to thicken a little bit, turn up the heat a little bit, not too high, but just keep it in that nice loose consistency, and this will make it through an entire party. You can leave it, check on it occasionally, and adjust the heat as you need. So now I'm going to give it a taste. This is so good. It just has all the good flavors. Smoke, cheese, the mustard, a little bit of acidity, the spice. It's just fantastic. This recipe should definitely be on your regular rotation for any kind of party you're having. But for this recipe or any other of the great recipes you'll see on the show, visit weekendswithyankee.com.